In mid-December, you told me that you would like, as Senate Republicans, to be aggressive in tax cuts. Have you flushed that out more in the past few weeks?
We're working on that. You know, tax conversation is one that usually takes the entire session. We know the governor rolled out a tax bill last year that we started to work on. I expect her to continue to have that conversation and possibly roll something out in her State of the State address. But the tax conversation and tax changes don't happen in a bill filed day one in the legislature usually. So what I know is, as long as I'm majority leader and as long as we're in the majority, we want to continue to improve the tax climate in the state of Iowa. And so we'll work within the budget, we'll work within the legislative process, but we do want to continue to improve the tax climate here in Iowa. Iowa's in a pretty strong position considering the pandemic, considering the struggles in the economy, because of a lot of the changes that we have made over the last few years. And so we don't want to take our foot off the gas with continuing to improve the state of Iowa.
Speaker Grassley, the man who's in charge of the tax writing committee in the House, said, hey, in December, maybe we should wait and see how the pandemic plays out, what happens with farm policy and farm payments in the Biden administration. Are you in a more go slow process in the House compared to what's happening in the Senate?
Well, I would say to Senator Whitver's statement, tax policy is an entire work through the entire session. Not only that, we got to see what the March revenue estimate looks like. I can tell you that I think the priority in our caucus is making sure whatever decision we make does not affect the 2018 tax cut that we passed. When we passed that, we implemented that with triggers and stuff to make sure that if there was something unforeseen, like we find ourselves in now, that our tax cuts could be fully implemented that we passed in 2018. So I would say our priority is going to be that, but I think that we want to be a part of that conversation. We're seeing higher than expected revenue growth. If we have those opportunities to return dollars back to the hardworking Iowans, we want to do that. But I think our priority is going to make sure that whatever decision we make does not jeopardize the current tax cut.
Senator Whitver, is this a time for maybe doing nothing? A recession is no time to be raising taxes when you're in a recessionary environment, the way some people want to do with the sales tax. But you're also in a period where you need the revenue. You've had some cutbacks in revenue, so is it really a time to be cutting taxes?
Well, I would say the state needs the revenue, but so do Iowans. And when we're talking about tax cuts, we're talking about individual income tax cuts. And there's Iowans out there that are hurting, and we believe they should be able to keep more of their money. And so certainly as Republicans, we're not looking to raise taxes. We see that happening in Illinois, and we see people fleeing Illinois. That's not where we're going to go.
And you expect federal deductibility phase out to continue then?
Yes, that's part of the 2018 bill, and we expect that to trigger at some point, hopefully this year, maybe next year.